Hello there everyone and welcome to the channel. Today's video is a little different. Normally on the channel I like to talk about content from the Legends timeline as opposed to the modern canon one. However, today I will be telling you a story that is not a part of either timeline. This story comes from a 10-page non-canon comic book called Into the Great Unknown. It was written by W. Hayden Blackman. W. Hayden Blackman has written tons of Star Wars comics that take place in the Old Republic and the Clone Wars. He's also written several Batwoman comics, but we won't hold that against him. Anyway, I know that I've said this a couple of times, but this story is not a part of either timeline, so no need to worry. Some wild stuff happens, so strap yourselves in and let's begin. Alright, so our story starts off with Chewbacca and Han Solo being chased by a Star Destroyer and tons of TIE fighters. Chewbacca roars at Han Solo. Han tells Chewbacca that he sees them and to keep the rear deflector shields at full power. They continue to fly away and try to jump into hyperspace, however they are unable to. Han tells Chewbacca that the nav computer has been erratic since they left Hova 99. With no working hyperdrives, the TIE fighters continue to beat down on the ship. Han decides that they can't do this forever. He makes the extremely risky decision to do a blind hyperspace jump. Now for those of you who don't know, in Star Wars there are these places called hyperspace lanes. This allows space travelers in the Star Wars universe to travel at incredibly fast speeds without hitting anything. It also allows them to travel at shorter distances. Before this discovery, space travel took a lot longer and was a lot more dangerous. Eventually, hyperspace scouts and navigators took on the dangerous job of traveling these routes to make sure that they were safe. You wouldn't want to blindly jump because you didn't know where you were going to end up. You also didn't know if you were going to hit anything. Anyway, after Han jumps into hyperspace, they come out of hyperspace near a greenish looking planet, which I assume is the planet Neptune. You can see in the side of the corner of the comic that they are no longer far away like they are in the Star Wars galaxy. As they continue to fly, we see the different planets of our solar system like Saturn and Mars. As they whiz through the galaxy, Han mentions that they're running out of power. They need a place to land. Han says that most of the planets here are basically hunks of rock, but to try the big blue one because it looks more promising than the others. His scanners also tell him that there is life on this planet, and he hopes that they have a repair bay as they are running low on power. Then suddenly, the rear repulsors start to break down. "We're going to crash again," Han yells wildly. They start crashing towards the Earth and fly over the planet as long as they can, I assume, looking for a place to land. Eventually, they crash into what looks like sequoia trees, so this is most likely some part of California. After crashing through several trees, they hit one and finally crash. Han and Chewbacca get out of the Falcon. Han comments that this place looks like Endor, giving us further proof that this is indeed California. For those of you who didn't know, the woods in California is where they filmed the Endor scenes. Anyway, Han and Chewbacca walk around and search for a nearby settlement. The two cross a log over a ravine. Han comments that he has a bad feeling about this. Suddenly, they are attacked by Native Americans, which you can't really blame them. I mean, a dude in weird looking clothes and a bear mixed with a human looking creature walking around with crazy weapons, so they get attacked and Han and Chewie shoot back. Han gets shot in the back with an arrow. This angers Chewbacca, who starts to brutally fight back. Several more warriors attack him, but he's able to prevail. We then see that Han has about 4 arrows lodged inside of him. Han tells Chewbacca that he isn't going to make it and asks Chewbacca to bring him back to the ship. Once they finally made it to the ship, we get a very sad moment between the two. Chewbacca rests him on the chair, and then Han starts to talk to Chewbacca. Han tells Chewbacca that he always thought that Chewbacca would be the one to die first, trying to protect him or his kids, and pay off his life debt. For those of you who don't know, Chewbacca owes Han a life debt, but we know that they're great friends and will probably stay with each other and die for one another regardless. Han tells him that it looks like he'll be the first to go into the great unknown. After this, Han dies in Chewbacca's arms. Chewbacca gives a loud, sorrowful roar. Outside the Falcon, one of the warriors hears this and says it's a Sasquatch. We then cut to 126 years after this tragic moment, where a mysterious archaeologist in a brown jacket and fedora is walking in the woods being led by a guide. The guide tells him that there have been sightings near here for about 30 years. The guide finds a footprint and tells the archaeologist that they are nearing its home. The archaeologist says that they can't give the museum footprints. They then walk around and go look for a cave that might possibly be the creature's home. They then find the Millennium Falcon, which has been sitting there all those years. The two climb into the Millennium Falcon and look around. His assistant asks him what this place is, and the archaeologist says that he's never seen anything like it, not even in Atlantis. But he also says that it's somehow closely familiar. He then sees the body of the dead Han Solo with the arrows inside of him. We then see the archaeologist is in fact Indiana Jones himself. Should we keep looking? His assistant says. No, Indiana Jones replies. Let's just leave this as part of the great unknown. We then see Chewbacca outside of the ship watching the two. So that is the story about how Han Solo and Chewbacca went to Earth. Like I said, it's a pretty wild story. I like how they included Indiana Jones into the story, even though it was kind of crazy. Although this story isn't really connected to any timeline, it was kind of interesting to see how long ago the Star Wars universe is from our current time. I know it doesn't officially confirm it, but it still gives us a guesstimate. Also, some of you returning viewers probably noticed that my mic sounds a little different. I've been having issues with it and I'm trying to get it figured out. So thank you so much for watching this far. Anyway, let me know what you all thought. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. Also, make sure to follow the channel to get more Star Wars content. Thank you, and may the Force be with you.